So imagine being so brilliant, so creative, that decades after you're dead, your work still speaks for us. Every part of life, politics, economics, mathematics, strategy, negotiations, still carry out what you left behind. Now, this person I'm talking about is called John Nash. John Nash is the creator of the Nash equilibrium that is still used in every part of life today. And despite the fact that he had a very beautiful mind, a very intelligent person, he also had one issue. He had schizophrenia. Now, when you hear about mental illness, you think about ridicule. People think about, the end of one's life. People think about spiritual issues. People think about repercussions to something they've done. We go as far as seeing it as repercussions for rituals or something like that. But it's more than that. If you look at the story of John Nash, despite his schizophrenia, despite his delusions, despite everything he went through, he was still able to bring out one of the most important and critical theories that we still use up till today. And what this tells us is that despite anyone's mental illness, they can still function. Mental illness is not the sum of a person. It's not the whole identity of a person. It is just an experience, a part of a person that they're dealing with every day. And we are used to a kind of society where a person with mental illness is vilified, is judged. We try to do a lot of things that are unorthodox, like spiritual deliverance, flogging, caging, and chaining, things like that. Except giving such person the help and the management they desperately need. But here in JephyRobertsSafeSpace, our goal is to humanize the experiences of those going through mental illnesses, and to show the world, to show everyone that despite this experience, this mental illness, they still matter, they're still humans. And by the end of this conversation, we'll be able to understand how to manage, how to work, and to show that people with mental illnesses can still function. Our first guest today is someone that needs no introduction. He's known all over Nigeria, all over the world. He has participated in so many interviews. He has been very open also about his mental struggles. And despite his mental struggles, he has shown the world that he's very creative, he's very smart, he's very intelligent, and I'm very, very proud and very humbled to have even met this person and to call him my friend. So please help me welcome Emeka Jude Wonsisi, popularly known as
EmekaTheStar. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Emeka,
yeah,
it's really nice to see you.
Same here. Nice to be here in Abuja.
What do you think about Abuja, the different thing Abuja?
Abuja is extremely organized.
Right?
Like, seriously.
So what about Lagos? Lagos is not...
hustle and bustle. Yeah.
You've been to Abuja before?
Yes, I have. Long time ago.
About that?
Okay, before I clocked 19, and before running mad totally, my decision was to leave home.
Okay.
And start my life on my own.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be famous at age 12.
So why did you leave home? Did you have friends that pushed you to leave the house?
Nobody pushed me.
Were you bullied at home?
I was not. I was totally ignored as a child.
Who ignored you specifically?
My parents did. Because both parents. Because I was an introvert as a child.
Okay.
I would mind my business. I would stay at home 24/7, and my parents applauded that, not knowing that it was actually depression.
So why were you depressed?
Okay, I was not really comfortable in my own skin.
Okay.
I was bullied for not being good looking.
Really?
Yes.
That's very surprising.
Very, very surprising. I was bullied the hell out of for not being good looking, even by my own father.
Okay.
My father used to call me a beast.
A beast?
A beast as a boy. So I was called, this is all whoa, this is all the whoa. So I literally discovered makeup on myself. I gave myself a makeover. It was an escape.
Yeah, to get yourself more beautiful.
Yes, I beautified myself to escape the bullying from my father and the rest.
What about your mother?
My mother was a complete angel. Yeah.
So you left the house at 19.
Yes.
And this was because you wanted something else for yourself.
I wanted more for myself.
Did you think that it's going to make your father love you more?
I didn't want my father's love. I wasn't interested in my father's love. I wasn't even accepting. I wasn't interested in acceptance. What I wanted was I just wanted to be rich and I wanted to be famous and I just wanted to have my own things for myself. I wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to own the world. I wanted to be the world.
Now, you left the house at 19.
Yeah.
On your own.
On my own.
You just stood up one day and you left.
Yes. I stole my mother's money and I ran away.
Can I ask you how much was it? How much?
36,000 naira.
Really?
Back then, flights was 16,000 naira. So I took a flight. Yeah, I took a flight to Calabar.
To Calabar?
Yeah.
Now, did you know anybody in Calabar at the time?
Not at all.
But what prompted you to do this?
I just wanted to be on my own.
Now, do you think you had already started developing symptoms of mental illness before you traveled?
Yes.
So you think that was like a radical...
It was a radical move, actually, that triggered it coming back to Lagos. Because I went to Uyo, Calabar, Abuja, Onitsha.
Now, before you traveled to Calabar, your first place, when you got there, you stayed under the bridge. Where did you
I slept on the streets.
On the streets?
Yes. Then I slept in a local Ashawo house where they have cheap prostitutes. Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I took a room and the bed had bed bugs. But I could not be bothered. But the next day I planned to go work at a restaurant to wash dishes.
Okay.
And that was the goal.
Did they accept you though?
They did not.
Do you know why?
Because my young age. I was just like...
You were 19?
18 heading to 19.
Do you think it was your young age? Did they tell you that?
They didn't tell me that, but they gave the notion that this boy came from nowhere with no identity, with knowing anyone at all, and just wanting to walk. They were kind of skeptical about that.
Now, I want you to think carefully. Do you think your mental health played a role in being rejected at that time?
Well, it did not.
How sure are you?
It did not.
Were you sure that you already... When did you start noticing that you had some mental health challenges?
Well, I could hear voices.
At what age then?
At 16. Okay. I could hear voices at 16 and I could see illusions and apparitions.
Okay.
And I was delusional at 16.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense why you would have to leave the house at 19.
Yeah.
So you already had the history of the mental health.
Beginning.
You already knew something was
wrong somewhere.
But you didn't perceive it as mental health issues.
I didn't know it was.
You saw it as you being greater than who you...
I thought maybe I was some kind of spiritual person or whatever. Yeah.
Did anything you ever said or did come to pass, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about pastors? Did they give you visions and stuff like that you'd be a great person?
At 12,
okay,
I noticed that I could give you an idea that would make you mega rich.
And that brings us to your school. You went to what's
Federal Government College in Jaliki, Lagos.
Yes, and you were classmates.
I was classmates with Don.
Was it classmates of school?
Wandiko. Classmates with Wandiko.
Okay.
And some other IG friends. But John Jazzy was in SS3. I was in GSS1. So he was about to leave while I was entering. Yeah.
And we're looking at you.
Yeah.
First of all, I do not think you are bad looking, really.
I gave myself a makeover.
I don't think it was a makeover. I think you're not bad looking. I'm looking at you here. Without a makeover, you're not bad looking. You're actually very good looking. And then you're classy. You have this sort of
finesse.
Yeah, some finesse about you.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how you would look like
as a boy.
Younger, as a boy.
Yeah.
And obviously you can see, looking at you, I feel like I see you as someone that would have, maybe you had some comments when you were in school. Like you say you're girly.
Yes. Not even girly. I was cross-section. I was masculine and feminine. Yes. I could play with dolls and play with pistols at the same time.
Okay.
I could play
now, did you think
ball
playing
and
with pistols was out of society pressure?
No.
I
love my masculine side and my feminine side. Okay. I could play Barbie dolls and I could play with guns also. Mm-hmm. And I could act the role of Shango and do it very well.
You said that's Shango?
Shango or Batara? Shango, the movie Shango. The
Yeah,
Yoruba
God of
epic
Thunder.
movie, God of Thunder. Yeah, I played it very much as a little boy.
Oh, really?
I was obsessed with the movie Shango.
Obsessed with the God.
The God and the movie and the actor.
So I want to still talk about your school.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand the kind of dynamics that will be in school with someone that's like you, but then I want to understand, talking about the people that you spent your time with. You know, you've always been out. I'm very proud of you. I love that for you. You're very proud of yourself. You've been out about your mental health struggles. That you use the word mad. I do not like to use the word mad though, but use the word mad from 19 and up until 40. You know, you are now at 40, 42,
41, heading to 42 in July 21st.
Now, in the next 9-10 years,
where do I see myself?
You are in the middle of your life.
Yes.
Now, looking back at when you were in the secondary school, what kind of experiences do you think shaped you in secondary school? Were you bullied?
Well, in secondary school, I was not bullied. I was worshipped. I was the most popular person in the whole school.
Okay.
I was even given the chance to be the head boy.
You were the head boy?
I was not the head boy.
Okay.
I was chosen to be.
Did you turn it down?
No, I had left before then.
You left?
I left SS1.
You left the school? Did you drop out?
I dropped out at SS1.
Okay. Then, how old were you then?
I think I was about 15 or so.
Now, do you think this is also part of your mental health history?
Well, at that time, I did not know what it was.
But now
I just knew I was delusional. I was hearing voices, saying things.
Tell us some of the things.
And I was exposed. Now, like I could see the spirit side of life.
Can you tell me more?
Extract. Okay. What I want to say is that, like this empty chair there, I could know that there's someone right there.
You could see someone sitting there.
Right there, and I could hear conversations when there's no one speaking.
Now you see someone sitting there.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
It's a person. Now notice we're looking at schizophrenia here.
Yeah.
It's a person.
Human figure with a different skin.
With a different skin.
With an animal skin.
With an animal skin.
Yeah.
With furs and everything like that.
No, not furs, but.
So I want to know more about what you see. You know, it's very important when you talk about.
Yeah.
You know, then during the time of John Nash, for instance, or those that had schizophrenia earlier, they could just say they saw things. But I noticed when I was researching that they didn't have very, very clear picture of.
I had a clear picture.
No, they had, but they couldn't give us clear picture, maybe because they couldn't draw, or they had not learned to manage this by that time to have them to explain. But right now, with lots of medical assistance, I see schizophrenics now draw what they see sometimes. They explain elaborately what they see. Then they could not. And they just turn into something else.
Exactly.
And schizophrenia is so bad. I have an aunt that died from schizophrenia because she got to catatonia, right? And then, you know catatonia?
No.
Catatonia schizophrenia is when whatever you see makes you
paranoid.
Extremely paranoid, that it makes you to just stay in one position, catatonic state. And she was in a catatonic state on the bed, and her state kind of like compressed her lungs, and she couldn't breathe, and she died. So it's a very high level of schizophrenia, you know.
Yeah.
When you got into catatonia.
Really?
And it comes from
I never got to that then.
No, you will never get there. You're taking drugs already. So she didn't take drugs, you know. She was so religious. You know, so she had no very good support. It was terrible. Yeah. So basically, I want to know what you see. You see humans in.
Okay, let me explain for this. Okay. I've seen the angel of death.
He told you.
Have seen the angel of death.
Tell you it was.
Yes, okay. I've seen the angel of death. Now you know the movies where they portray the angel of death wearing a black hoodie.
Okay, like the plague.
The plague. That's his actual figure. And he walks around with a notebook.
Now,
and he walks around with a standing axe. Okay. And he's behind every one of us.
Now, it's very important to let people understand that this is what you see.
That's what I see.
And this is not
the facts of facts. Yeah.
So now you see this person. When you were in secondary school, did you see this angel of death?
Kind of, but not really. But he was behind. He's like, right now, I can see traces of him behind each and every one of us.
Okay.
Yeah, he stands behind every creation.
When did you start seeing this angel of death?
From 19.
Did someone die around you before then?
All my friends.
Oh, at 19?
All my friends. My sweethearts. The best friends in the world.
They had died?
They all died one after the other.
Before 19?
Yes. No, not before 19, after 19 and before 19.
And the angel of death became more pronounced at what age?
Came more pronounced like my mid-20s. Yeah.
So do you think the deaths you had of the loved ones around you
triggered
this?
I don't really know, but all I know is that friends that I loved so much passed on one after the other. The lady that taught me makeup passed on. My best friend, who you look like, passed on. My best of friend. And that's a very strange story because he's the real Bobrisky.
Oh, really?
He's Igbo.
Okay.
And he's Bobrisky.
His name is Bobrisky?
His name is Bobrisky. Now, him and Idris are lookalikes.
Okay.
Idris is Yoruba.
Yeah.
But him is Igbo. You kind of look like Bobrisky, right? The lighter version of him, the masculine version of him. Now, Victor, that's his name. Fidel Armstrong, Victor Okurunku. Victor was Igbo and light-skinned and looked like the female version of Bobrisky.
Did they ever meet?
Idris? And they met at a function. Now, I remember when Idris did the pure water sachet, when I got him arrested at the international airport, I went viral. That was his first viral move. Now, they met at a party. But on the other hand, Fidel was already processing a visa, an asylum visa to the UK. And his plan was to come back and be the first female transgender in Nigeria and be Bobrisky. So he met him at a function and said, I don't like what you did. You look alike and you are putting nonsense pure water in your chest and you're trying to disgrace the fact. Because people would have thought that he was the one because they looked alike.
Okay.
One was Igbo, the other one was Yoruba. And one was light skin and one was dark skin. So that is where Idris now picked up the idea. I said, Omo, see as I resemble the Siwen yellow, come fine.
So do you think that is how?
That's how, I don't know how it came up, but that's why I think that's why he picked up. He died 6 months before his visa was ready.
In the same year he met Bobrisky?
The same year he met Bobrisky, he died. Because we told everybody that was his plan to travel out and come back, but he died.
Just like that?
He died. He died of multiple illnesses. Oh my God. So that's when Idris now took up the idea and became the Bobrisky of Nigeria. And that's how it happened. So one after the other, all my friends, and Victor Fidel was my best friend. I adored him with all my soul. He was more than a confidant. He was a big time friend. We went everywhere together. The whole of Festa Town knew us together as friends. So when he passed on, I really felt it, and that was it.
Now, at the time he passed on, that same year, after he met Bobrisky, of course. Bobrisky, he's the lighter version of Bobrisky.
Lighter version of Bobrisky,
And basically, did he call himself Bobrisky though?
He planned to call himself Bobrisky too.
Why? What is Bob about his name? Is there Bob in his name or something?
No, back then there was a hairstylist called Bobby Signature.
Okay.
Who was trending back then.
Okay.
So everyone wanted to use a particular name that was similar. No. Because Daily was one trending back then.
Yes.
So everybody wanted to be like Daily, thinking that that's the way they would make it.
Yeah.
So now everybody now wanted to be like Bob Signature, thinking that's the way they would make it. So that's how they coined that name Bob. But Idris also had that same name Bob, to Risky, in Unilag. You see the similarities? Yeah. But Fidel just wanted to use that name as a way to make it also. Because that name was trendy all over the place. Bob's Signature was all over the place.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. So now, after Victor died, it hit you so hard.
I swear it did.
And then, somehow, it's testing the angel of death around
everywhere.
What's the angel of death talking to you? The angel
he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. He just stands behind people
and takes
a note and waits until their time comes.
So what about the voices that made you
Now,
think that you'll be something.
the thing about it is that I grew up watching Robin Williams.
Okay.
Robin Williams was one of the Aladdin and the 40 T's, and Robin Williams was the one leading the movie Good Morning America. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He was known for voices.
Okay.
He was known for different kinds of voices.
Okay.
So I grew up finding myself in that.
In Robin Williams.
In Robin Williams. I mean, making Robin Williams. So I wanted voices also. So I literally picked up my own talents and noticed that I too had several voices also.
And was it the voices you heard?
Yeah.
The delusional, the ones that were like delusional?
They were delusional. I stole them.
So you were hearing the voices of
Random spirits.
The spirits came with their voices were in the likeness of Bobby
Yeah, the
Williams.
movie characters.
Now, these are movie characters that you adored.
Adored, yes.
You were introverted,
Yes.
bullied by your dad.
Yes.
You were everything in the secondary school when you go to school.
But when I turn on the television,
It's something
I come alive. Yeah.
And do you think this is the way of you escaping your reality?
It's just a perfect one.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Gloria Anozie, RMD, Ego Boy, Susan Anstrop, Bio Anstrop. And those were the people that gave me life. Check Narinzi. Those are the people that gave me life. Because growing up, I was called ugly
Yeah.
for years.
Now, I need to talk about this, you being called ugly
Yeah.
by your dad.
Yeah, a beast.
That's very interesting to say. But I know you've grown so much. You've learned
How to
how
beautify.
to you've learned how to mask this. You've learned how to go live life through this.
Yeah.
You've learned how to just put this behind you.
Yeah.
But definitely, this had a very serious effect on you.
It did.
And this is something that has also led to your apparent serious fear of rejection. You have a very terrible reaction to rejection.
You can say that.
So that's what happened when you went to get the first job. You were rejected, right?
Yeah.
And it actually affected you.
Yeah.
What else happened? You also looked for. You said you were in Calabar. Did you also go to? You said you went to Port Harcourt. So you went to. Tell me the states you went to.
Calabar,
Okay.
Onitsha, Abuja, and New York.
You went to Calabar first,
I went to Calabar first.
and then to Onitsha.
I went to Onitsha.
You came to Abuja,
Abuja, then New York.
and you did all this alone. You had no friends.
Nobody whatsoever.
You went with flight to Calabar.
I went to fly to
I want
Calabar.
us to be-
And it was 16,000 naira back then.
Very great times.
Great times.
Great times.
Oh my God.
I want us to paint a very clear mental picture.
Yeah.
If not for us or for viewers
Yeah.
that will see this,
Yeah.
that have family members
Yeah.
going through stuff.
Yeah.
You're leaving the house at that age because of the voices you heard that convinced you that you're going to be something very great. It's very important, that you had the conviction that you'd be everything. You
Exactly.
made it to drop out of secondary school
Yeah.
and just go into the world.
Yeah.
Now, you went with flights to...
Calabar.
did you now go with flight to Onitsha and other places?
No. Local transport.
Local transport.
Remember, I just had 36,000 naira.
And you had nothing else after Calabar. You had no
else.
job.
No job. I went to go look for plate washing gig, but no way. The lady refused. She turned me down. So wherever I went to, they turned me down.
Everywhere they turned you down.
Yeah.
You see this as because you were ugly or something. Do you think there was something
kind of
mentally unhealthy about you that people could see already?
Okay, number one, I think I had a very big head.
Your father told you this?
Yes. I had a very big head. And I was super duper dark. Like very burnt black. And I had very dirty black lips.
Are your siblings more...
They're good looking.
Really?
Good looking. Light skinned. Clean and light skinned. Good looking.
Now, it's very important to know that your father told you this.
Yeah.
Your father told you this, right? That you had big head, you were this and that, right?
Yeah.
And everywhere you went to, that you were rejected.
Yeah.
You saw it as
Part of the problem.
that you were ugly.
Yeah.
Good.
So I literally gave myself a makeover. So I learned how to turn my hair into sporty waves.
Did it help with the big head feeling?
It helped somehow. So I discovered that if I apply my mom's lotion on my lips, it lightened it.
Okay.
And that's how I discovered my own pink lip brand from that tender age of 12, 13, 14. That's where I discovered my pink lip brand. And I literally used Fombat A on my face to like give my features a more softer, calmer glow.
Before you went to 419, did your father notice any difference though?
He stopped calling me a beast.
Really?
He stopped.
And you think it's this all these things that made
I don't know, but he just stopped. Immediately I became more handsome. He stopped calling me a beast, which I had to give myself a makeover.
Did he say anything about you being more feminine after this?
He didn't say anything, but he just stopped. He just stopped calling me a beast.
What about in school?
Yeah.
We have to be real about the fact that you're feminine, acting feminine and everything in school, even around you. Did you have unhealthy advances from anybody?
None whatsoever.
When you were in school?
None whatsoever.
Did not prompt anything?
None whatsoever. I was cool with everyone. Everyone was cool with me. Even when Nicole was a friend. And even his mom was a darling big mommy of mine.
Really?
His mom was our home economics teacher.
Were you friends with Don Jazzy though?
He didn't like me.
Why?
He despised me in school.
Why?
Because he couldn't stand the way I was behaving. Back then, Don Jazzy was really phobic. He could not stand the way I was behaving. He was irritated by it.
You said something earlier that you were a darling in school.
Yeah. Everyone loved me, yeah.
Everybody in your school loved you except Don
Jazzy.
Are you serious about
it? Yeah, except Don Jazzy. Don Jazzy despised me. Everybody adored me.
Except
Don Jazzy.
Was it the only one that you noticed or you remember?
The only one I noticed. The only one I noticed.
Not remember.
I don't know what I noticed.
You suppressed the memories from your school.
No, the only one I noticed.
Why did you notice it? Is it because of Don Jazzy now?
No.
Okay. What
back then?
What made you notice? Did you have any conversation with him?
Okay, first of all, the first one was that he had a girlfriend in school, which was his school son's senior sister, a half Liberian, half Nigerian. Yeah. So the school son was a friend of mine, but he liked the school son because of his senior sister.
Okay.
Do you get the logic?
Yeah.
But he couldn't stand me. Growing up then, he couldn't stand me. So there was one time I wanted to walk up to him to give him the idea of Don Jazzy.
Why?
And the brand name Don Jazzy.
Why did you want to tell him about Don Jazzy?
Because of Don Jazzy was the organizer of everything entertainment in school.
Was his name Don Jazzy at that time?
I came up with that name.
How?
Okay, chill. Let me explain something. Back then in school, Don Jazzy was the king of entertainment in school. Okay. He hosted every events. Okay. Everything. I mean, everything. Don Jazzy would bring actors to come perform a William Shakespeare movie, organize the production, direct the production, produce the production, create the background for the production, get the students in to watch, arrange the hall, and arrange the stage, choreograph the dancers. He was the master of it all. Don Jazzy had a 3-girl group even before Destiny's Child existed, where he managed 3 girls how to dance and perform to different songs. All students. No. So that was this thing. But back then, we're all probably thinking he was going to probably become like an events director or event producer or event organizer or something like that. But immediately I saw him managing those 3 girls back then in school, I knew what he should be. A music promoter.
Now, did you know, or one of the voices you heard told you?
No, I knew. It had nothing to do with the voices. I knew.
Why do you think you came up with the name Don Jazzy?
No, because I love jazz music. I'm guessing there. I love jazz music. Okay. Now, jazz means voodoo, witchcraft. And what's Don? Don is the master of it. And he was the Don of the jazz. That's the magic of entertainment. Okay. Back then in school, he was the master of entertainment.
Magic.
So the master of magic. And I said, oh, this guy is the Don of this jazz. And wait, that's a good name. Don Jazzy. Wow. And that's how I came up with it.
Okay, now did you said you tried to tell him and he did not even give you
the first time he didn't give me the audience. But the second time he did. He was with his friends. He allowed me to talk and I spoke and his friends shunned me and kicked me away. And I was
literal kicking?
Yeah, no, they showed me to get out. But they waited until I finished my conversation. Then they asked me to get out.
What year was this? Can you remember?
I don't remember.
And you think this is what made him use the name Don Jazzy? Did he begin calling himself Don Jazzy after you said these things?
He started everything.
That same year?
Yeah, he started everything.
That same year?
Maybe he graduated, he started everything. Because I told him about him, I also became prophetic because my ideas are prophetic. I told him that he would leave the school and he would travel. Yes. I told him that he would leave and he would meet a particular guy called Oluwabenji. And he's supposed to bring him down here and it'll be his first act. And his name should be Debanj. And that was it. And that's where it started.
Do you remember these things?
Yeah, vividly.
You remember all these things?
Vividly.
And you're sure that these are not voices that you heard?
Nope.
These are memories.
Memories.
How sure are we that these are not delusional memories? Are you certain? Because these are memories. You just call them memories.
Because there's so many weaknesses.
Let's give it a try. Let's try something, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What name are you going to call me if you want to give me a name from what you've known about me? The way you're able to think about a name and give to Don Jazzy. What are you going to call me? If you want to just
Electric the brain.
That's crazy. Why would you say that?
I just came up with the electric the brain.
Okay, tell me why.
Because of you are electric and you're a brain.
Okay.
That means you are electric means you are light, you're fire, you are entertaining, but yet you're smart.
Okay.
Electric the brain.
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand? You've got melody in your veins, but yet you're a brainy person.
Oh, thank you for that. Very beautiful. So I wanted to see how you could come up with names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
How you to test your theory of the Don Jazzy name.
Yeah.
What about the one they call? I'm told some.
That's his real name.
Exactly.
That I didn't come up with that.
Okay.
But his real name is Wande, and his surname is Cole. That's CLE.
Okay. And he was a classmate.
He was my classmate. His mom was our home economics teacher.
Okay.
The mom was super duper kind to me. Super duper kind to me. Now, there was one time some students were caught smoking, and I was asked to join them as for the punishment. And she was like, no, Emeka, can she back? She was like defending me that I don't do that. I don't smoke. I don't do that. I just stood there looking at her like, I kept on looking at her like, she wasn't defending me. I was like, what kind of amazing thing is this soup? I started thinking, I was like, no way, there's no way this was going to retire and be left with one kind of mediocre pension or mediocre rubbish and be living one kind of half-hazard life. What do I do? Then right there had like an apparition into my eyes of her son, Wandiko. So I was like, that is it. One day, see the name Wandiko, he's a star. He was in singing church choir. So I was like, he's a star now. So I ran to him and told him, and he said, are you sure, Emeka? I said, yes. But before that, I already told Don Jazzy yes. So I told him that once he gets older, he will go to a music competition. I was being prophetic. He'll go to a music competition and he will meet Don Jazzy there and just tell them I sent you.
Now I want to know why these are very, very important moments in the lives of Don Jazzy and Wandiko.
And why did they not care about me? Not gonna reach out.
They've not even said
nothing.
This person said something.
That's the beauty about the hate in Nigeria. That you can do the whole world for them and they will despise you no matter what, just based on that femininity in you.
So you think you're being despised because you're feminine?
What do you want to say?
They still have. You said Don Jazzy had the phobia from secondary school.
Yeah.
I think he still carries the phobia up till now.
He does.
Now the contradiction here is that you are already hearing voices and seeing things at the time that you are saying these things.
Yeah.
And the argument could be that what you are saying right now is not true. Are just memories.
Nah.
But does it hurt you though that they don't talk about you?
Well, the thing about this is that it does somehow. I feel betrayed, but at the same time, I'm not bothered. I'll be fine.
Now, there's a very big gap between 19 years and 40 years.
Yeah, it is.
Many
a large one. Yeah.
What happened? Tell us about this.
Okay. At 21, I told my mom I wanted to become a model, so she took me to the biggest modeling agency.
You came back home. You went to Calabar,
Onitsha, Abuja, then Uyo.
Then Uyo.
Yeah.
And at every step of the way, you were rejected.
All through.
You tried to do lots of things.
Lots of things.
You were rejected.
I was rejected.
And you think it was because you were ugly. Now, I'm bringing this up because it's very important for people to know that your father made you believe you are ugly.
Yeah.
This is the person, the primary caregiver of yours, the person, the man in your life.
Well,
the person that should teach you how to love, how to be bold, how to be yourself.
Yeah.
And the first
word that comes out of his mouth is beast.
You are ugly. You know, so they say you could laugh through this, but obviously you know how hurtful it is.
The thing about it is that, see, a lot of us parents don't want to be parents, but because society decided that to become one.
That's not an excuse, okay? That's just you trying to...
No, it's a fact.
Defense mechanism.
That's not any defense mechanism. It's a fact. A lot of parents don't want to be parents because society views.
Your father...
He did not want to become a parent.
That
he did not want to become a parent.
Are you the first child?
No, I'm not.
You're not the first child?
No, I'm not.
You are the
third.
So you had 2 children to prepare for parenthood?
Yeah, he had like 4.
So you see, you cannot excuse that. You need to understand that you can't... That statement has no basis here. You understand? So you need to understand it. You need to believe it. You cannot give excuses for someone else's responsibility. It was his responsibility to cater for you in every way possible. And he failed.
Well, I would not say that.
So is it the government's responsibility? It was his. You understand?
I know. But he said he too also said he didn't want to become a parent. That it was society that forced him to become a parent.
It doesn't matter.
A lot of people don't want to become parents. Listen
to me.
So they end up being miserable.
You cannot live your life having excuses for people's failures. It's a very bad way to live your life. You've done that for the past 42 years.
It's
time to stop. Because that's part of the reasons why you might not see yourself moving from here to there. Because you're excusing everybody else's responsibility. You have your responsibility to be you, to do beautiful eyebrows and stuff. And that's for you.
I did this brows, by the way.
You did. So you cannot give excuses or deflect on someone else's responsibility. You deserve to be loved by your father. Do you understand? And then he failed.
Okay.
He failed terribly. Okay? And that has affected you, whether you want to believe it
or not.
But I know you do believe it. You're masking it. I can see in your eyes that you believe it, but you're just masking it because you want to scale through it. So you don't have to scale through everything. You have to accept some things because it leads you from here to there. And now, after going out of the house, being rejected, it must have been very traumatic to come back home again, to face the same stigma.
Yes, I have been rejected for years. Not only that, before I became much older, when I was 21, I told my mom I want to be a model. And she took me to one of the biggest modeling agencies back then, which was her sister-in-law of hers. Because her husband is a cousin. So we went there and she went, "Oh, you're a model, you're this, you're perfect. We're taking you to a fashion show." So I went for my first fashion show. I put on the outfits. All the whole models like, "Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good." I walked. I never got any training, so I made a flop out of it. But that was the last job she gave me. And I disturbed her for 11 good years. Yes. I disturbed her for 11 good years. She said, no.
This is 21.
Yeah.
Where were you in your mental health journey? What were you seeing?
I was already fresh out of Yaba Psychiatric Hospital.
When did you go to Yaba?
I went there at 19.
What happened?
Okay, one night, I woke my dad up and my mom up and told them that I don't know, I'm not okay. That I don't like the fact that I have two voices. I've got a feminine voice and a masculine voice.
In your head? Or
my out as a person.
Okay.
And I noticed that I behave like a man and I behave like a woman. So I was like, is there something wrong with me? Why am I behaving like this?
Okay.
So my dad now did like this to my mom behind my back. And my mom now said, okay.
How did you know he did that behind your back?
I checked in the corner of my eye. A lot of us don't have to look from the corner of your eye, but you can use the corner of your eye to see what someone next to you is doing.
Do you understand that you were not, was that the only reason you went to Yaba left?
That was my own reason, but I thought I was a pastor or what kind of spiritual answer to what I was seeing and hearing.
As a man and as a woman.
And as a man and a woman, yeah, that was the main reason for me going there. That was the main reason.
And you got there, and what happened?
I got there, and immediately I got to the gates. The voice's last word was that, as you are coming here, we are no longer talking to you.
So I just want to understand, and this is very shocking to me, that you were taken to Yaba left because you complained that you act
like a man and act like a woman.
And you went to Yaba left.
Yeah.
And you were admitted.
Yeah.
And they started giving you drugs.
Yes.
And what happened afterwards?
First of all, a diagnosis was made.
That what?
That they discovered that I had bipolar, schizophrenia, and psychosis of the brain, and emotional depression, and suicidal tendencies, and identity issues. So identity issues is what I thought I knew I had, but I didn't even know that I had several other illnesses. Yes, I've been on the medication all through my life since I was 19.
Now, I want us to get something before we go to the next section. From everything I've seen, you were bullied at home. You didn't feel beautiful. You didn't feel good. But you were loved in school by people. Like,
by strangers.
And then the voices you said you were hearing, I'm getting that it turned out to be that it's just you talking like a man and talking like a woman. And then also playing out characters you see on TV.
Yeah.
And then
having conversations.
Yeah. You act like of course, you can think, but it's like 3 decades ago. So I understand how such things were perceived that then.
Yeah.
You know, the people would make comments when they were walking on the road.
Exactly.
People made comments in church, things like that. And all these things made you to believe that because they said all these things to you, you just believe that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And then you complained to your parents.
And my parents said I was losing
your mind just because you are acting like a girl.
I act like a guy.
Talking like a guy also.
Yeah.
And then they took you to Yaba left. They said you had identity issues. Forget about the other ones.
Yeah.
And then they started giving you drugs.
Yeah.
And since then, your mental health started
getting worse. That's when I discovered I really had mental problems.
Do you understand what's going on here now? Are you getting a little bit of a picture of where what's just
yes.
That we have experts here that are listening on this right now.
Yeah.
They are watching you and things have changed. It's 30 years later.
Yeah.
Nobody would diagnose you or say that you're mentally unstable at this point in time in 2026 because you're acting like a girl. But then 30 years ago.
Back then they were. Yeah.
And they took you to the hospital.
Yeah.
Gave you drugs and injections.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
I swear. They gave me loads and loads of injections and loads of tablets and all of that. And before you know it, I had schizophrenia, I had bipolar, I had emotional depression, suicidal tendencies, and all of that.
So now, in our next segment, we'll be talking more about this. We'll be talking with experts that we've called from reputable hospitals in Abuja. And we'll be discussing scientifically what this means in Emeka's mental health journey. Yeah. How he was diagnosed because he's acting like a girl and also has a manly side because he's basically androgynous. And don't forget, we're talking about 30 years ago. So when we come back, we'll be looking more into that. So right now, we'll go on a break and we'll be back shortly. I'm still with my friend, EmekaTheStar. And we've been talking about his journey, his mental health journey with his mental illness. We talked about his diagnosis, how his father's approval was very important to him. His father was the one that even first said he's mentally ill. and he was taken to a mental hospital. Yaba left specifically, right?
Yeah.
Now, to go further in this, we'll need experts. We'll need people with authority on the subject. And that's why we have 2 consultants from Elite Life Consulting who are here to help us understand this very magnificent person that we are here with. So please introduce yourselves.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Obiwane. I am a clinical psychologist. I work with and consult for Elite Life Management Consulting as a clinical psychologist.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Adeshola Oladeji. I work for Elite Life Consulting as the head of programs. I also act as a consultant on trade.
I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to convey my appreciation personally for being here and for coming here to help our friend, Emeka. So from what you've heard, from what we told you about him, you could see that he was taken to the mental hospital because he acts androgynously. What do you have to say about that? Let's start with Dr. Obiwane.
Okay. First of all, when he said he took himself there, so he went there, and
He went with his parents.
He went with his parents because of that part of his life, being androgynous, like you said. But then when he got to the hospital, being it's a hospital, they would have evaluated him. They would have clocked him with interview history and every other thing, and that's how they would have probed to identify his other symptoms.
Yeah.
Yes, that is added to, because from his conversation, he had symptoms like hallucination and delusion, which is a core symptom of schizophrenia. So working with him, with the multidisciplinary team, I'm sure he would have had doctors, psychologists, and, nurses working with him. So they would have clocked him, they would have interviewed him, taking in his history to now realize that other than what brought him to the hospital, he had other underlying symptoms, which now pointed to the different diagnoses he mentioned. So I'm sure that is what worked out. So it's not like it's because of the illness, it's not like because of the symptom being androgynous that they are diagnosing him of schizophrenia or bipolar. No, I'm sure they would have gone through taking his history and other assessments, and also using the DSM-5 that is the clinical book you usually use. So I'm sure they would have used all that to now arrive at the diagnosis which they gave him.
All these things, this clocking, did you go through all these things in just one year?
Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
I was admitted for like a month.
When were you diagnosed? After the admission or before?
Immediately
You
on
got
the
there.
day of getting there.
Mm.
Because of...
You were diagnosed the day you got there.
Immediately I got there.
Mm.
The last voice I heard, because I've been hearing voices and I was delusional from age 16. So the last voice I heard was that, now you're here, we're no longer talking to you. Well, guess what? I flipped.
Okay.
I flipped. I assaulted everyone I could find. Even the nurses, even the doctors, even my father. I flipped. And I don't know the reason why I flipped. Mm-hmm. So they had to call the, crisis. Mm-hmm. Crisis has to subdue me, give me sedative for me to calm down. Mm-hmm. And the next day I woke up in the hospital robe, which I was given. And that's how I started my treatment in the hospital. And after that, they ran some tests. Mm-hmm. And I was examined. I saw a psychiatrist and a psychologist at the same time. So I was asked multiple questions. I was interviewed. Mm-hmm. And that's when they found out that I had schizophrenia, mm-hmm. bipolar, mm-hmm. emotional depression, suicidal tendencies, and identity issues. That's how it's done.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you think it's enough to come up with all these things from just flipping and then one day in the hospital?
No. The thing is,
it was from 2 weeks of treatment before they came up with all of that. 2 weeks of treatment. And also.
So what do you think about the flipping?
Let me leave. That's been he became violent.
Yes.
Because of the voices he was hearing. So being violent is also one of the core symptoms of schizophrenia. So even at that time, I'm sure he would. The point that he was experiencing schizophrenia was between severe. Not mild. It has exceeded mild. So it was getting to being at the severe point. So that's why I'm sure they sedated him and now admitted him. And after then, there would have been series of, assessments.
There was.
I'm sure he filled some.
There was. I filled
good. So
documents.
that is not. They don't just look at you. We don't just look at you and give you a diagnosis. No. When it even comes to a diagnosis, we are being very careful because we know how the awareness of mental, how people view mental illness. So we don't even want to give you a diagnosis that will tell you, tomorrow, we're sorry, we thought it was this, but now it's this. No. So we take our time. The doctors and the psychologists, we work together from their own point of view. Then ours, like the psychologists, we use various assessments. I'm sure the identity, they would have given him an assessment he failed. The depression, they would give him from, Beck's depression scale to so many other things they would have used. And then they would now go back to the book, DSM-5. It's called Diagnostic Statistical Manual, which we usually use. So we use that to analyze and then bring up the case formulation, which includes which includes your diagnosis. So I'm sure they worked with him for a while before coming up with that analysis. So it's not that he went there because he felt he was androgynous and they just grabbed him, no.
It didn't work like that. Yeah. It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks of prompts.
So can you just try to, as much as you can, tell us as much as you can. No problem. Why you flipped?
Well, I didn't want to be there.
Okay.
Because my mom, my dad said I'll be there for a while.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be there. I looked around. I saw people acting more psycho, and I didn't want to be part of that. So
let's ask Adeshola, our psychiatric expert here. Now, is it normal? Because I'm listening to him. I would not want to be in a mental hospital too if I think I'm okay. Is it normal for people to come to the mental hospital and flip like you said? That I don't want to be there?
It's
Well, to be honest, first thing is generally I don't think anyone likes any form of hospitals. I mean, if you have a day off from work or from school, you not see them go and hang out in the hospital. Let's get that very clear and straight. Now, if we're talking about someone that is struggling with any form of mental health condition or illness, right? The first crucial aspect that might not be there, or usually not there, is the awareness that there's something wrong.
Okay.
Right. Now, but then, so let's look at it on layers to see what could come together to make this a reality.
Yes.
Now, if you look at this also on the basis of there might not be that awareness that I need this, I should be here. That's the first layer. Then on the other layer of what he said, he described it in terms of he saw other people around that seemed like they were not mentally well or balanced. And we live in a society where we stigmatize mental illness. So at that point, subconsciously, maybe you see it as, if I'm here, does that mean I am, under quotes, mad? Even if that's not language one should use to describe oneself. So looking at these layers of, I don't think I need this. The people around here are people that I don't want to be around. And then you are telling me again, I have to be here for a while. It is a natural self-preservation mechanism. It's self-defense. I don't want to be here, so I will lash out. I will flip out. So it's something that you will see most times. It takes a lot of self-awareness. It takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to submit yourself to mental health care and say, okay, I know I need this. I know that this is going to take a while and I'm going to be here and I will not make a fuss about it.
I think it's that what made me actually flip was that we all have this long history of making fun of Yaba left.
But you went to your parents though.
Yes.
Look at this.
Yaba left is not a joke.
Yes.
And it's not an insult. So as I would say, Yaba left not because for years, they have made it an instrument of mockery. If a blogger made his whole blog.
Yeah, but
But I want us to look at this. He went to his parents himself and he said I have someone that got naked in the estate or something. He got naked outside. And that was when we took him to the hospital. But this person, without getting naked, without anything, he went to his parents and
I was not willing.
Is that not awareness enough? Do you know what I mean? Why would someone with such awareness still get to that place and flip?
Because they wanted me to be there.
Yeah, I want our expert to answer this.
So I will take a wild guess.
Okay.
And here's my theory. My theory is, one, you can know that you have a problem and not be ready for the required solution.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right? It's like sometimes when some of us might experience fatigue and people are experiencing symptoms of malaria, and you know that you have to take medication or injections, but based on you don't want to go through that entire process of treatment, you're like, let me just sleep and rest to go away. That's one possible aspect. And also note, a critical component or a critical symptom that can appear with someone that is going through his diagnosis is violent tendencies. So if you do the 2 plus 2, you come to understand.
Were you ever violent before you went to
let me say something. In my work experience with working in psychiatric hospital, most times, like, yes, they come in, like he said, but they are not ready for that cumbersome. Most times they have in the mind that, let me, like, you go and collect medication, malaria drugs, or I'm going, let me just go see. Is it not the doctor to see me and give me medication? I'll come home. Or when they now come and realize that, I need to stay here. And like you said, when you now see where you need to stay, you look around and find out, oh no, I won't be able to. And because he has that illness already, so the them telling him it was a trigger. So he wasn't violent all those while because maybe there was nothing to trigger it. And him being violent is him disagree, like, okay, I don't want to stay, I want to go home. And they are forcing him, no, you must stay, you need to stay. So if at the point that he said, oh, really, I don't want again, I want to go home, and they let him go, he wouldn't have been violent. But because they were trying to hold him and he was trying to, fight them off and everything, so that was why he became violent.
But it took 1 week to adjust, and I fell in love with the place.
They usually, it usually happens.
The whole idea is like Big Brother. Big Brother Africa, Big Brother Nigeria.
That you made that the idea for you to be able to cope.
Exactly.
To be able to cope.
Yes. Watching.
So you use that as a coping mechanism to be able to stay there.
That was it. And I enjoyed every moment of it. It was fun.
It changed.
I made the coolest friends. I made the coolest friends there. It was nice.
Do you think that Emeka has a way of always masking coping mechanisms? He has too many coping mechanisms for. What do you think about it, psychologists? Because I don't think it's a healthy thing to always have so many coping mechanisms. If you look at him, you can see he laughs at everything.
Well,
what do you think about it?
We have, when it comes to coping mechanisms, we have negative and positive. Some people cope with the wrong things. That's why sometimes people that are distressed or maybe going through trauma or something go take substance. It's a coping mechanism. It helps them, but it's not a positive coping mechanism. So. Emeka, has several coping mechanisms, both positive and negative, and that is why if he works with a professional, what a professional will do for him is to replace the negative. First of all, identify those negative coping mechanisms, then replace them with the positive ones, because we all need to cope, and he copes. But one thing with negative coping mechanism, you will cope. But the thing is, eventually, it is doing more harm than good at the end of the day.
Nobody goes to the mental hospital to cope with as his big brother. Look at him. He says he wants
no, but that is a positive one. It helped him. It helped him stay. Sometimes even some patients will tell you, yes, it helped him stay at that time. Even a patient will tell you, I started looking at it as a holiday.
Really?
That I'm here to rest. Yes. And that's what made them to stay, because what we professionals need you to do to be able to accept and stay, because it's when, even if we give you, there's no, yeah, we can give you drugs that would work, but when it comes to therapy, if you're not relaxed, if you're not able to talk, because therapy is talking, you need to relax, you need to open up, you need to talk, and someone that is not relaxed would not have therapy, and that is what we need you to. So if looking at it as a getaway, holiday, big brother, whatever it is, will make you relax, then it's okay. At that time, it's a positive coping mechanism for him. At that time, yes.
I want to ask you, Doctor. I have to call you Doctor. Because all my lecturers, we are doctors. We are all psychologists. So you have to understand that the mental part of life, we have mind over matter. You know that, right? So, yes. And now we understand the body is important because you don't check your mind, though. Your mind could be going down every time, but the symptoms will never be there until you are. So if we have symptoms every time, like we have our physical symptoms, I don't think anybody would see the standards of the mental professionals. So I want us to understand something, because this is Big Brother, a competition that you win millions of naira after. You are here to present your best. You are here to win. This person had the belief that he's a star. He's everything.
Exactly.
Before he went there. So getting there, this is his coping mechanism. He's here to become a star. Now, I understand, it could be a holiday or something. But in his case, because of his history, he turned it into a competition to be the best. There's no competition in the hospital. I could say holiday, it's not, that's thinkable. But a competition to be the best, to be the star in a mental hospital. Looking at, we can understand the chemical part, the medical part of it, the drugs you give. But the psychological part, did it improve?
Did it help him?
Did it help him in the long run?
It did.
I'm so sorry, I don't want to say that. Because you look at it after that, from what he said, his illness progressed. He has a gap of 20 years in his life. Because of this. So, and in the long run, his coping mechanism, and it's very important for people out there to understand what kind of coping mechanisms you would need. And we don't need to start looking at mental health hospitals as a place to cope. You are not well. If you have cancer, you have cancer. If you get an accident, you have an accident. You don't need to start coping, thinking you're on a holiday. So that's what I want us to understand. Did he? I'm the opinion that he didn't get better. It didn't help him, but you guys will tell us better.
Okay, so I would say that we can examine it on the basis or the front of the end results.
Okay.
You were there for a month, correct?
Yeah, it was.
You got your diagnosis after 2 weeks. Right? And you're placed on medication and you started therapy and everything else like that. So at that point in time, that narrative or perspective that you gained, it helped you get through it.
Yes.
Right?
It took away the fear.
Now, towards the end, or now that you are here in hindsight, are you aware that it was not Big Brother's house that you went to?
Of course.
Do you understand?
Of course.
The point is, at the layer of everything, it is the awareness.
It just turned into a fairy tale land. Just
now, is this something that one should try to encourage? Not necessarily, right? Because one should always try to be in touch with reality at all points in time. Especially a crucial part of knowing your diagnosis as someone that is living with any form of mental health condition is recognizing your tendencies and what the symptoms or signs are. So as someone that that delusional thinking and hallucinations are part of things that I might experience or struggle with, you should try at this point to dissuade from anything that feels like you are thinking about life in an interesting perspective than what reality is. Do you understand me? So that you stay on ground, you stay in touch, stay afloat. But this entire life, as you said, is a battle of the mind. It's a matter of perspective. But I think with everything I've heard him say over the course of your interaction, before we even join this conversation, I can say that I have noticed that you come at it with a certain level of acceptance. Right?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Okay.
Because you don't self-stigmatize. There are two types of stigma. The stigma that the world will give you and the one that you give yourself.
Okay.
And it is very crucial that even if the world doesn't see you however way you want them to see you, how you see yourself is also important. And that level of acceptance is also present in the conversation, because you can see him say, I used to see this thing. I saw this thing. And you can tell that he's aware that these things he saw were hallucinations, correct?
Yeah, they were.
And you can tell now, maybe then you didn't know, you could tell that they were not real. Which means there's that level of awareness as well as acceptance that this is something I go through. This is something that, and this is actually a part that I actually want to commend you personally, because for most people, this is going to be a very difficult thing to say out loud.
I swear.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that wouldn't even want to sit down in front of other people or maybe share their story with the world, because they will be afraid that what if everybody thinks, or what if everybody says or looks at me funny. But it takes a lot of strength as a person to say, I have gone through pain, but I want my pain to become a story.
Yes.
Because if you look at what I've also paid attention to, if you look at the entire story, a huge part of your journey, you went through it by yourself.
On my own.
Alone. Confused, you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Based on stigma, social expectations, a lot of things didn't go right. And what I believe you're trying to do right now is so commendable in terms of, it's trying to become a beacon of hope for those that are going to be on the same journey he was on, but that he's even currently on. And that is so important. Even in the mental health space, we have something called peer-to-peer mentorship, peer-to-peer support. That is someone that is a peer, similar to you one way or the other, but is in a position to share advice, to share their experience. Because I can tell you, 1 in every 4 Nigerians right now have a mental health condition.
Yes.
It might not be chronic. It might be something as...
minute.
It might be so minute.
Yeah.
But it means that this is in our society today. This is the country we live in today.
Yeah.
And it's important to have these kinds of conversation, these safe spaces, because with the internet today, a child, a teenager, an adult, anybody can open up their phone and watch this. And it is giving them that hope of whatever I'm going through now,
it can be managed.
It can be better, it can be managed. And it is encouraging them to seek help. Because that's the most important thing.
It's the most important.
As someone that I have been in the mental health space for about 9 years of my life now, I can tell that the inner perspective of the person going through it is so important. Which is why, as you are taking your medications, it's always important when therapy is made necessary for you, you should take it. Because you can take the medications that are going to help you reduce how much you're experiencing your symptoms, right? It can help you reduce your hallucination, seeing things, hearing things, every other thing. But if that part of you is still looking at yourself that, oh, I'm a crazy person, or, oh, nobody will ever love me, or this mindset, that's what therapy is about. It's about saying how you are seeing yourself.
Okay.
Should you see yourself like that? How do we correct this? There's dialectal, there's behavioral. This is looking at how do you behave as a result of whatever it is you're going through. How do you think about things? So I think in summary, what I can tell from this is you're bringing a wealth of experience and you're bringing your story, and you're not afraid of coming out to say, this is who I am. This is the battles I've fought. And me sitting here today showing that I have won. Although I am still going through this and I'm still struggling, but I am still here to tell you that if I can do it, there's hope. And that's as a professional, I can tell you this is the most beautiful thing you can see as a professional. Because it is like an unspoken rule that we don't want to talk about mental health conditions.
Exactly.
No, the thing like what he said.
Religion plays a role in it.
What he said about self-stigma is not a joke. Stigma from other people is not, once you self-stigmatize, your mental health journey becomes very, very, very long. Very long. And like he said, I just want to bring something in. We are all one traumatic event away from a mental health illness. All of us, everybody. One traumatic, it could be loss of job, it could be loss of loved one, it could be pregnancy, it could be anything. It could be anything. So
trauma can even trigger it.
That's the trigger. It's trigger. We have predisposing factor, biological factors. Maybe you inherited the gene or whatever from your parents, but it can be there. very quiet. It won't, come up till there's a trigger, a life event. Yes. Some is education. As they enter university and, with the whole stress of everything, they break down. So we are all one traumatic event away from mental illness, and it's very good we have these conversations so that when you begin to experience those symptoms, little by little, you know what to do. You seek help immediately, because one thing with mental health illness is the earlier you get an intervention, the better your prognosis.
Yeah.
You can live, you can, like when I told you that at a point you can have, full remission of your mental health illness. You might not necessarily say it is cured, but you live your usual normal life. Yeah. Yes, managing your condition. Nobody knows. You just, because at that point, your triggers, what to look out for. So that's why it's important for us to have this conversation, so that at any time, even me or anybody that doesn't have that mental illness at that time, at any point you start experiencing certain symptoms, you know what to do. For example, I saw on social media, someone was saying, someone wrote that when she's having meeting and she hears this voice that tells her to stab her boss with a pen, and people were telling her to go to church or go to the mountain. And I was like, this is pure hallucination, auditory hallucination, that if she gets help at this time, she would be better. But the thing is that, like you said, religion plays a very huge role. By the time she goes to church or wherever she's worshiping, and she gets to us professionally, you see she would have gone from mild to severe, and then her prognosis becomes very poor. Because what affects her prognosis is the time you had help, your age, even your gender. Yes, younger person, and how much you've relapsed. The more you relapse, the poorer your prognosis. That's why we also advise, if you get help on time, please stick to your medication. Stick to your treatment plan. Always ensure that you don't relapse, because the more you relapse, the harder it becomes, for you to get treatment. Just like malaria, when you're taking a certain medication and after some time that medication doesn't work. That's how it is, because when you relapse, that medication you were taking might not work, and the professionals will need to put you on another medication. So it's a whole complex. When it comes to mental health, it is complex, and honestly, these conversations are very necessary, so that in your everyday life, once you, like, we know malaria, when you start feeling weak, weakness of the bone and all that, I need to go to the hospital. So when it comes to mental health, even if I've not been diagnosed before, but I know that when I start withdrawing from the activities I used to like, when I start stop eating well, doing other things, okay, I might need help, and I'll actually go and get help,
So is it safe to say that for mental illness, there are stages of it? Or how do we identify those stages to the point that we seek help and get the help we need before it gets to stage 100?
That's a very good question, because a few years ago, I saw a post online that it drew my attention, and it's something I started to ask people randomly. It's like a practical question. It says, if you are ever taken off of the street, a van comes, picks you from the street and takes you to a psychiatric ward, and they tell you you have lost your mind, how do you prove you are sane? Now, it's a humorous question, but it's also a very valid question. If you want to flip that question to the other side, the question is this: how do you know what normal isn't?
Okay.
Do you understand? Because I love psychology. I love how the human mind works. It's something that fascinates me very much so. But do you know that based on individual experiences or experience of reality, you can see red at a darker shade than I do, but because I can't see life through your eyes, you will never know. But how can we bridge this gap we're talking about? It's about when we're able to create safe spaces like this to talk about mental health. And we're also able to create safe spaces or channels of communication where someone can call and say, I'm experiencing this thing. I don't know why. I don't even know what it is, or I don't even understand how I feel. You don't wait until when whatever it is that is going on cripples you and you can't eat or sleep. Because There's a joke on social media now. I love social media. He says, if you ignore the signs, there will be wonders. And the truth is, for everything, there are very mild symptoms. You will notice it. For something like depression, before it gets to the point of you don't want to bath, you don't want to eat, you notice it little by little. I have low energy today. I don't really feel like talking. I don't want to pick up my phone. So small symptoms, small signs. Now, when you notice this thing goes on and you don't like how you're feeling, you should be able to reach out and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know if this is normal. And then let a professional tell you. It's like when you're feeling sick and you go to the hospital, a pharmacist, and you say, oh, this is what I'm experiencing. Sometimes the pharmacist or doctor will tell you, it's normal. Just take this or rest. It will go away. But there are certain things where, even I personally, I can tell you that there are certain points I walked into a hospital when it got extreme. And I was telling the medical professional, this is what I'm going through. The doctor was like, why didn't you come since? And I was like, I thought it would go away. So it's important to be able to speak out before you have to scream out for help.
Exactly.
Before you say the wonders.
Before you see the wonders, when you see the signs, just raise your hand. I'm seeing signs though.
So then,
But one thing I want to ask.
Yes.
wait, please, before you ask, I just wanted to add to what he said. Like, when it comes to when you know that you need help, in the moment it starts affecting your daily life. Like you said, you can not do what you usually do. The moment, because even when we are doing before we give you a diagnosis, we'll first of all check that we'll check duration, then how much it affects your life. Yes, if it's something that affects your life, then you really need help. Because one thing with mental illness, it's it goes on a continuum. You can go from very mild to severe, and most times from that very mild, you can actually bounce back, depending on how resilient you are. You might not really need intervention, because sometimes we some days we are sad. Sometimes we get news about someone, loss of someone and everything, and you're sad, but eventually you come out of it. Yes, but now if you're sad and you're not able to come out of it, that you've been sad for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that you don't even eat anymore, then that's time you should get help. So most importantly, when it starts causing distress, please get help.
I wanted to talk about something. We talk about this more psychological now, the psychology part now. He had a very, very bad support system from his father, especially, and his history from the age of 19 to 40. He relapsed. Even as of last week or so, he said he could not afford to go take his medication in Yaba, and he acted a little bit erratic, So obviously, judging by from that, you can see that he has always relapsed all through this time, and that's why there's this gap in his life, never stable. He also has a very adverse reaction to rejection. If you reject him, it's a trigger. It's like his main trigger, actually. Once you reject him and tell him he is not doing something okay, whatever, he told us a story about how he almost committed suicide because he had a bad rejection from one of his idols. Tell us about that story.
Okay. Okay. First of all, hold on. I need to ask one question.
Okay.
Please, what exactly is the difference between psychologists and psychiatrists?
Okay, very important.
That's a very straightforward question. Think of it.
How can they be helpful to mental illness?
They are the only help you can get.
Okay.
Psychiatrist is a doctor.
Yes.
They did 4 years in school studying medicine.
Okay.
Graduated, did a house job, and now started residency in psychiatry. So that's medical doctors. Yes, that's medical. When others will do residency in pediatrics, gynecologists, they are doing their residency in psychiatries.
Okay.
Then the clinical psychologists are the ones that study psychology in school for 4 years. Then after then do masters in clinical psychology. Yes, while the doctors are managing your symptoms with medication. We also managing your
therapy.
With therapy.
Yeah.
It's very so the simplest term is like this. One can prescribe medications for you. One helps you with the therapy. One helps you with the medications that can help your symptoms reduce. One equips you with the knowledge and guidance to deal with it on on a day-to-day basis.
Oh,
So it's usually a treatment team.
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yes. So you have one give you the chemical therapy, one give you the behavioral therapy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Understand? And it's you just cannot work without these two when it comes to mental health.
Oh, that's
Understand?
amazing. That's a fun fact.
So
Yes, yes, it
Fun
is.
fact.
So these are the only pillars, not even the two important, they are the only pillars of mental health.
I mean, we still have counselors,
yeah.
of course, but counselors are close to therapists,
Yeah.
to psychologists.
It's from, like she said, you go to school 4 years,
Yeah.
and after the 4 years, you do your master's somewhere. You can do it in clinical, you can do it in neuro, you can do it in counseling. There are different parts of psychology.
Mhm.
You understand? So when you talk about counseling psychology too, it's part of the things you can do after your 4 years of your BS or your BSc.
Yeah. So let me get back to the story of
Yes,
how
please.
moved
I
to
was
Japan.
joking, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I was like 33, going through life, dropping out of school, going in and out.
And you
of
dropped out twice. It's very
Yeah.
important. You got from secondary school.
From secondary
and
school,
from
university. But going in and out, my friend suggested I should go and learn makeup. A friend of mine, because I didn't have any source of income. So it was like, how do you cope with life since you're not be far from medication? I said, okay, let me just go and search, let me just go learn. So I went to go learn it, and I was already practicing it. But I had a flair for TV. I want to be a TV presenter so badly, to the point that I even want to go for a training on it and start it myself. If they don't give me a chance to start. So I went to Ebony Live TV, and
What's the order of people in Ebola?
Madam Mo Abudu.
Okay.
Madam Mo Abudu.
Okay.
The iconic Madam Mo Abudu. The owner of Ebony Live group of companies. So I went there, and while there they were having a TV program audition called The Governor. A TV show called The Governor, where they're having auditions. So actors came in for the audition, and then I didn't know. I was looking for a job as TV presenter. So when I got there, the actors made fun of me. Nigerian entertainers are the highest booties in the world.
Okay.
They ridiculed me.
remember anyone that-
Yes. IK of Big Brother Africa fame made fun of my suits. He called my suits old school. He made fun of my Nokia phone that was ringing. Then some other actors made fun of my pink lips, called it a lipstick. Some made fun of the fact that I wear makeup, and I was trying to explain so bad, like, look, I've been bullied for years for not being good looking, and that is why I discovered makeup to make myself good looking, so I can make
Because
that a
anyone give you a chance though to do anything.
hold on first. So right there and then, heaven opened its gate
Okay.
and walked in an angel.
Okay.
Bimbo Akintola. Madam Bimbo Akintola walked in, and I screamed, hallelujah.
You just screamed.
I did
Oh my
actually.
God.
I screamed and I ran to her and I said, oh, madam, I adore you. For years, I want to be part of your glam squad. Please, do you mind if I do your makeup? She said, yes. I went to go do her makeup. She called it unprofessional and wiped it all away with a brush.
Interesting.
With one, what do you mean? With one brush? In one
With a
brush?
makeup brush, an application brush.
She wiped it.
Bimbo Akintola wiped the whole makeup with an application brush.
How did that make you feel?
Then IK made his whole midnight show talking about me.
Okay.
On the same day?
The same day. IK made a whole midnight show talking about me. Called me whether am I homosexual for wearing makeup? Am I this? Am I that? Then how can I be using Nokia torchlights in this era?
Was 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. It was not like my suit is old school. I wore the same color of suits my dad wore, and which I loved, and I copied.
What color was that?
It was cream brown, something similar to this. So cream brown. So I
want to get something before you continue the
Yeah.
story. You Bimbo Akintola wiped out your makeup.
She wiped
And right
the
after
brush.
that, you went to somewhere and Ike was ridiculing you. That's the day.
that event that I went for the audition house was that is when Ike met me at the audition house.
Okay, and
so what
that
I
same
looked like and ridiculed me when I got home.
On that
But
same day?
That same day of the
Now
show.
you came back home, you were watching on TV.
So that was like the episodes of one after the other. Being ridiculed by IK Big Brother Africa on his show, and being rejected by Bimbo Akintola for being an unprofessional makeup.
on the same day.
No, not the same day, like
Okay.
2 days or 3 days after.
Now when did you get home and said you're going to
once I got home, after being back into that called me unprofessional, I just sat on my bed. I was like, is this what came here to do for this life? Because I wanted to be a model for 11 good years. I was rejected. I wanted to be a TV presenter for 6 good years. I was rejected. I wanted to be a radio presenter. I was rejected. I wanted to be an actor. I was rejected. I had met Morgan Obi, the iconic director and movie producer of Glamour Girls, I Shall Not Be Walk, the iconic movie called Glamour Girls. I met him and he rejected me. And
so you got home and then what happened?
So, I'm guessing there. So I've been to all the whole radio stations in Nigeria. Cool FM, Wazobia, Brilla, Inspiration, NTA, Silverbird, all the whole TV. In Lagos Island, I've been to all the TV houses, and they all rejected me when I said it. So that night, I was sitting on my bed. I was like, is this what I came here to do? To come and do? Facing rejection. I'm going back to where I came back from. What's all this? So I took my antidepressants.
Okay.
All of it. With Atapia. I don't know the chemical name for that. Sniper. And my perfumes. I drank it all up.
Now, this was the day.
I decided.
You had not even heard about IK's own.
I've heard about it also. I watched it, man. I watched it. And so that was a few days after meeting being and I decided that look, there's no need for this in this world.
You came back home. I want us to get a very important picture. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah. I came back home from being back into that job. And I decided. Before going for being back into that.
Okay.
Before going to being back into that. Now, but Ike had done so many other things about me. And he also invited being back into that, mocked my makeup also.
On the show?
He continued.
Do you have this show somewhere on YouTube?
It should be. He continued it. And being back into what I did to your eyebrows, being back into, I said, I ruined her.
But you know, it was 10 years ago, so no. You've had 10 years of success.
Exactly. Being back into said, I ruined her eyebrows. So I had enough.
And then you tried to kill yourself.
As a makeup artist, they said I'm unprofessional. As a model, they said no. As a radio presenter, they said no. As a TV presenter, they said no. Kilo day. Well, I just said, I want to go back to where I came from. I think paradise, where I came from.
So what happened when you took this? Did anybody help you?
So, no, wait, hold on. So I drank the perfumes, the Otapia, my antidepressants, all of it. And I lay down on my bed. Covered myself in my blanket and hoped that my system would fail itself while I sleep. But 12 midnight, time struck exactly 12 midnight. I woke up and I threw it all out. The Atapia, the perfume, and the antidepressants did not dissolve.
Wow.
Did not dissolve. I threw it all out. Now, so I just said,
so this is all.
I said to myself that
of your rejections, right?
Yeah, my rejections.
And everything accumulated into that suicide.
Yeah.
Have you tried suicide? Of course, you've tried suicide by hitting yourself.
Yeah, I hit myself. Yeah.
On this.
My head.
These are self-inflicted scars, by the way. Can you tell?
No, they are not self-inflicted scars. Okay. But that one, I also used a bottle, 7-Up bottle, and smashed it on my head. Hoping that I get like an internal bleeding, I just go. So, but that didn't work out also.
But you bled?
I bled, but that didn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work out. So, but this my scars was when I almost got killed, like last year, 2025, November 2025. When a particular street urchin who asked me for money, I lost my mind immediately after SK Record dragged me for 6 good months.
Okay.
Dragged me for 6 good months. Yeah, it dragged me for 6 good months.
I want us to talk about the suicide and the self-harm. I want us to focus on the self-harm for now before we get to that part.
Yeah. Can we phrase it as attempting to end your life?
To endure life.
Yeah, that's we don't say committing suicide.
Committing suicide. So remember, we're still in Nigeria, and suicide is still
an offense, criminal offense,
punishable.
Yes.
So we like to understand. Okay, so the first thing I can say to you is, I'm really sorry that you've gone through all of that.
Thank you.
Because that's the most important thing. Humans by nature, we're not designed to want to end. right? That's why you find a couple of millionaires, billionaires, they are trying to prolong their lives because our nature is to live. And I like to say this when I'm around people that, because as we said, Nigerians or people can be very judgmental. They say, in pidgin, what you don't see where you want. And sometimes we even try to play a game that seems like a suffering competition. Who's suffering the most? What are you going through? Me says what I'm going through. But the point is, I like to tell people to take a step back and imagine how much a person could be going through internally for them to want to say, thus far.
I want to know the endure life, attempt to endure life. Can we explain that literally? Endure life by ending it.
It's end your life.
Okay, end your life. Attempt to end your life.
Yes.
But what's the difference between that and suicide when it comes to
it's the phrasing, it's the language.
In this constitution they use suicide, not end your life.
The act of ending your life is called suicide. Yes, but we are removing that commit suicide, so we don't make it look like because we're also trying to battle with House of Rep to that there is no criminal offense. So decriminalize, yes.
We have things already going on.
Yes,
of course we have, but these things take time and money. So we want to decriminalize it, and we're removing that word commit, so that you can say die by suicide. Yes, because when people commit, it now becomes a crime. So you can say die by suicide, attempted suicide, as if the person didn't eventually die, like his own is attempted suicide. Or if the person eventually ended their life, you can say he died by suicide. Because the act of taking that life is called suicide.
Wow.
It's an offense.
It's an offense. Yeah, but you work with the associations trying to...
Yeah, it's NSCP, yes.
The NSCP.
Yes, they're trying to push the bill.
What does that stand for?
Nigerian Association of Clinical Psychologists.
Okay.
They are trying to push the bill with other things we are, fighting for.
Yes.
So
I think we need... Is there like a website or something? We need more information on that.
Okay, maybe I can try and get. I know the page. Okay, yes, we'll share that. Yes, we'll share.
We don't have people like Emeka getting arrested for
you actually if you attempt suicide and they'll come and arrest you, and it's quite very funny because when it comes to suicide, like you said, people don't want to die.
Yes.
But people that attempt suicide, they want to end the pain of living. So if you take away that pain that they're feeling at that time, they will live. So it's just that they don't know, like his own pain, like he mentioned several, is rejection. So if you take away or help him manage the pain of rejection, of course he wouldn't attempt suicide.
So as you look at this, the family, you can see he had this rejection from his family. What role does family have to play in mental health?
That's a very important question, because we refer to it as primary caregivers. Whoever it is that is responsible for a child growing up is your primary caregiver. Now, the role of a primary caregiver, primarily a mother or a father, it sits as the foundation of everybody's growing up. Now, this is not a diagnosis. This is just a working theory based on this conversation. I would say that if one of your primary caregivers were the first source of very strong rejection, it can give you, it can predispose you to be sensitive to rejection over the course of your journey.
Really?
No, it's not even, that is what disposed you.
Now, I'm trying to avoid...
No, you can just find the nail on the head.
Yes.
That is what disposed you, because if, like they always say at in social media, there's love at home.
Yes.
If there was love at home,
you don't like outside, you go home.
Even if Tinubu rejects you, you remember that there is food and love at, so you carry your bag and go home. So, like you said, family is, you cannot even emphasize the role of family. The family is like a cushion. They are the things, it's a support system that helps, that cushions whatever experiences we'll have outside. And so if that primary support system is faulty, I mean, when a foundation is faulty, there's nothing you build on it that will stand.
Think of it like this. It's a whole journey. Your whole life is a journey.
Yeah.
Dad thought you didn't look good. Once again, he thought. Doesn't mean you weren't. Your dad thought you didn't look good. And he reinforced that opinion in you internally, leading you to not believe you looked good, one, which led you to be interested in makeup, which interested you to be interested in your sense of fashion. Do you know that if you believe in time travel, if you go back in time and your father told you looked handsome every day of your life, there's very high chance you would not be interested in makeup or anything fashionable.
I swear.
So that's to show you the rule.
Become even an icon of it.
Exactly. So the thing is, it's just to show that the things that occur to us at our upbringing, family, brothers, parents, that nurtures us because our brain is still developing. Whatever it is that we are familiar with, when we grow, it sits at the foundation of our psyche. So that's why it's always been told or shared that as parents, people that are parents, always try to be positive, give positive reinforcement to your children.
But why do we have failures in our families that don't do this? Like what I mean is it shame? Why do people have these adverse reactions to their family members going through mental struggles? Is it the shame of having a quote-unquote mad person in your family?
It's just awareness.
Is it why do we have that?
It's just awareness.
I think it's awareness.
Yeah, it's just awareness because they don't even understand.
Because from then they lock them inside a room. They chain them.
You cannot give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. They don't even understand what that illness is. Like you said, they always say that you're mad, which is not it. You are just ill, like every other person that has BP, that has diabetes. It is an illness that they need to manage, but they don't know. And once they don't know, I mean, how can they even, like I said, how can they manage what they don't know how to manage?
So what do we do to make them understand or have this to give?
Awareness, what we are doing now.
Exactly, it's awareness.
It's just what we are doing now.
If you look at the trend right now of society right now, you come to find that if you open TikTok, Twitter, although in the professional space we tend to frown on self-diagnosis, but you can see somebody set up a ring light and a camera saying, "I have ADHD, I have autism." But we're approaching a point where people are finding it okay to talk about what they are going on, or what they have going, or what they think rather they have going on, what they are going through. Which means we're approaching that point where it is no longer an abomination to go through some things. Because I tell people this: just because you have a mental health condition does not make you any less of a human being. Even in science, there's a term for it that even Gen Z's young people are using. It's called neurodivergence. Neurodivergency. Neuro is your brain. Divergence is different. It's just saying there are certain parts of your brain
that your brain is
different than the typical. So we call it neurodivergence for people that experience life differently, and neurotypicals for people that experience life typically. So stigma plays a huge role in why the previous generation were not able to seek help for this present generation.
What about the spiritual side?
Yes.
The church, the mosque, the Alpha, and the traditionalist.
To debunk a popular theory, spirituality goes hand in hand with even therapy and treatment.
Even the flogging and the chaining.
No, not that part. That part.
Let me explain. Spirituality can go hand in hand.
I understand.
With treatment. You can still pray to God every day, Lord, my God in heaven, whoever it is your religion is, if it is a traditional, whatever it is, whoever I believe in, help me deal with this, take this away. But while you are doing that,
you are going for treatment.
I
want to talk about this. What about, there's a notion now when a young person in Nigeria has mental illness, actually a young guy that's perhaps doing well or not doing well, but doing well or struggling, the first thing they will say is Yahoo Plus. He has got to do something.
See, like he said.
Now, what I want us to know is it possible that someone can go to a traditional doctor, get some chance for their whatever they want to do, and it backfires somehow and makes them mentally ill?
We operate in the field of science.
We cannot
comment on anything outside of the field of science.
Like what he said. It can work hand in hand if you want. You can go to, like, if you believe that is that Baba that the thing now reacted and affected you, you can go back to the Baba for whatever intervention, but still continue with your treatment, with your medication. with all your therapy sessions, because it can work. The medication will not,
It will not
cancel whatever Baba is doing. What we just tell you as professionals is don't take local and orthodox medication at the same time, because because of the reaction you might get that might end your life at the end of the day.
When people see someone young, young guy, fresh guy, and then something happens to his mental health, and maybe he went to Baba, maybe he had something, they don't even take things really, they just do some diversions and stuff. Do we encourage people to say, okay, because he did this, that's why he's mentally ill?
Of course we want to.
The thing is, at all points in time, we never try to focus. We try not to focus on what could have caused it.
Okay.
We want to solve the problem.
Okay.
This person is going through something. How can we help them? How did you get there?
So that's what we want to pass.
It's not a priority. Do you understand? And then the thing is, it could be a number of reasons that can cause anyone to go through any form of mental health condition. It's not necessarily what we might think, because we as people, we tend to think in worst case scenario. There's a very high probability that if you come from like a super wealthy family, or maybe you are super rich, some people might believe that maybe you have done something, you put your hand somewhere, that's why you're going through what you're going through.
Exactly.
But the fact that part isn't there, people can just say, okay, maybe he's going through something. But my point is this: we should try not to assume.
Or focus on the causes.
No, let's talk about, now we have talked about causes now, and we don't want to assume the cause, which is very important, and it's very important.
When it comes to causes, there can be a lot of causes which the medication.
Psychologically, we want to know the cause.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said before, that we are away a traumatic event away from. So while the person is stable and working with the psychologist, that's why we go through history. What and where, at what point did your behavior change? And that history, not just between the psychologist and the patient, but with the family members, to know at what point did you recognize that your words behavior started changing. So it's that point that would know. And funny, we also go through developmental history, because if you had an accident as a child and maybe hit your head or something, it could be a cause. So there are various causes that we need several, probings to get to a point that will say, okay, this is where the trigger happened. This is where the trauma happened. What that helps us is not that it helps in your treatment. It helps in you, recognizing and preventing such occurrence, or being able to manage, because we have stressors. Even life is a stress itself. So if it's a natural stressor that you cannot prevent, you can actually now work with you in managing it.
We're talking about this now. We have a saying that we've heard somewhere that mental illnesses have no cure. Now, you can only manage it, like diabetes, for instance, or like HIV, or some of them that have no cure, that you can only manage. Is this true? Is this scientifically proven that mental illnesses can never be cured?
Well, we don't say it can never be cured, but it can go into full remission, like you have with HIV. At the point that you live your regular life and you don't experience the symptoms. That's the point whereby, at a point, the medical doctors can wean you off your medication. By the time you keep going there, yes, it gets to a point they wean you, depending on your prognosis, depending on how early you present. Then with the clinical psychologists, you get to the point working with us that you know your triggers, you know what you do to be like. There's one I work with, a medical professional. His triggers were exams. There are medical exams, yes. Once he goes, and he has to take those exams. Once he gets to the point he needs to take those exams, he relapses. So what did we do? We just worked with him to be able to manage the stress that comes with the exam. That is just it. So it gets to a point, and because he knows his triggers already, he doesn't even need to. By the time he enrolls in exam and starts reading, he comes for therapy.
Wow.
Yes, because of course he knows this, that he would eventually break down. He comes to therapy, he comes to see the medical doctors, and they give him this they call this name they call it, but it's a dose for you to just manage the situation at that time. It's not a dose for you to.
It's not lifelong.
Yeah, so just to manage it.
Thinking about something, this John Nash I talked about, the one that talked about the Nash equilibrium. He had schizophrenia. One of the things that happened to him was that he could see people. He had an imaginary friend and an imaginary I don't know, let's say small girl, daughter or something. And then when he got the understanding of his sickness, that these things he's saying, they are not real, how he coped as of then, that was, I think,
I know the story.
yeah, he ignored them. He just ignored them. He could still see them, but he now knows that this is not real.
Very good.
He just, is that okay?
Yes.
Is that possible though?
Very
But
possible.
now, do we have medication that can make you stop seeing those things, or you have to work with ignoring them?
Therefore, like that, individual differences. Some people, you give them the medication and the symptoms clears. Some people have organic, like there's one I worked with, his own was organic. Like that organic means that it has a lot of biological factors to it. People that probably because of like any trigger, any traumatic event, can be weaned or can eventually clear the symptoms clear. But there are ones that are organic. He was a young boy, or he is a young boy. He's a young boy. I mean, very young. He's living with schizophrenia, and the doctors had tried several medications and everything, to a point we now found out that it's organic when he was sent for MRI, and also took the history. The birth, he had a prolonged labor. The mother had because of this, it was organic. He stayed like up to 4 months in the hospital and didn't recover. So we now started working with him to ignore those symptoms. Like that John Nash, I think he became a professor. Yes. Because he knew that, I'm seeing this girl, but it's not real, so I don't pay attention. That's how we started working with the boy. Yes, you're seeing that, but you're hearing, but it's not real. So don't pay attention to it, focus on your life. And how you do that is to be able to, to get busy, look for something you love, and, put all your passion and interest in it. Yes, they have people like that. So if you have schizophrenia that is organic, you might not get to resolve all your symptoms.
And I think doubling on what she said, it goes to what I mentioned earlier in terms of the key point of knowing your diagnosis. For anyone that gets to know their diagnosis, it's not to see it as a label, right? But it's to use that knowledge positively, not negatively, because you have two options. You can see yourself as whatever negative narrative you want to spin with,
Victim of it.
or you can see yourself as recognizing it's like someone that is living with diabetes. You know to avoid sugar. So as someone that maybe that you're living with schizophrenia, right? If you can identify and accept what your triggers and your symptoms are, then you can move through life a lot easier. So there are certain points where you can be able to move in a way that you know that at all points in time, I might experience this thing, and these are what my symptoms are. But if you know that, it makes it easier. So if you are randomly sitting here with us now, you see like a dragon flying over my head, you don't panic.
You just be calm.
You just ended up death again.
I think to a point you just get used to it.
Do you understand? And you learn to ignore.
Ignore. Yeah.
In some parts of
I did.
In some parts of the world, we even have service animals.
Yes.
You can look at TikTok. There are certain people that they will show that they have schizophrenia and they have a service animal like a pet, like a dog, and they tell the dog, greet this person. The dog is trained. If there's a human being to bark, if there's nobody, it won't bark.
Yes.
So some people, certain kinds of external stimuli can help them know
that this is not real.
This also goes back to the point of support system. What are the things that you have put in place to help you so that you don't spiral, so that your symptoms don't get to a point where
overboard.
They go overboard. And this could be service animals, like I said. It could be people. It could be friends. But the most important thing I can say to you and anybody going through any form of mental health condition is, please create a safe space. Surround yourself with positive people and positive support systems. These are people that can randomly call you and check up on you and be like, oh, you're supposed to take your medication. Have you? I know you wanted to go for a refill. Did you go? And people that can also give you certain levels of understanding when your symptoms begin to manifest. So that when perhaps maybe somebody, because rejection sensitivity can be so interesting. It can be something as minute as maybe I cook a meal and you say you don't feel like eating it. For some people that have rejection sensitivity, they might flare up and get angry. If you know that this person can get angry. When you see them feel, you'll be like, okay, I understand that you're sensitive to this thing. This is how you probably react to this kinds of thing. So they will embrace you with empathy, not judgments. That and why you just vexing? Is it not? Do you understand?
I think this is cartoon that's trending, hot and cold.
Okay.
So if you notice you're a flipper, what I mean by that is that you're easy to temper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to go with the same person, the same mindset.
That's perfect.
But I want to talk about expenses. People run away from mental health illness because they say, and management because they say it's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about, and I was recommending therapy for someone recently, and they're like, no, the cost. And actually, I took someone to the hospital one time, and I spent just that day, I think I wanted him to stay for 7 days. I know I spent like 250, 300,000. So that's a deterrent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
So, before I answer your question, I want to reinforce what you just said about the hot and cold thing.
Yeah.
It is so important when you recognize what your impulses or tendencies are to be able to run in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
What that means is if you identify yourself to be someone that when you are angry, you are very confrontational. You can meet the person head on, shout and everything. Whenever you get upset, the first step you should take is exit the entire environment or not to speak. If you know that your impulses are when you are sad or depressed or life gets difficult, you want to shut down, turn off your phone, lock your doors, close your windows and sleep for however long it will take. You know that that's your tendencies. You know that's your impulse. So you should learn to identify what they are and do the direct opposite that is productive.
That works for you.
So that's to reinforce what you just mentioned. Now, talking around the affordability of mental health care.
So a lot of people complain actually about the affordability of mental health management and treatment. In some places you go to, you hear like 300,000. The average cost for support is like 40,000 per session. What do you have to say about that? And where can we access? He has a drug of like 800 naira he takes. But I've never heard about it like medicine. So where can we access maybe people from a lower income section of the economy? Where can we access cheap or even affordable or charity cases actually? It's okay.
Okay. When it comes to charity cases, we don't really have much. I know that the hospital is so for them. They contact one society in Catholic Church, St. Vincent de Paul. Yes, the social worker reaches out to them, like people that are not able to pay for 1 or 2, 3 therapy sessions and medications for the patients, although not really much. Then for affordable therapy, usually you get that at a government facility.
Yes.
National in Abuja now have National Hospital, you have Karu General Hospital, you have FMC Jephy, and these are the 3
major
government-owned hospitals. I know you can get both the psychiatrists and the psychologists at very, very, very affordable rates.
We don't have anything like Yaba left here in Abuja.
That's our Yaba left.
Yaba left is not like only mental.
Okay, Yaba left is only
psychiatry.
Neuropsychiatry. No, we don't have that. But Karu at General Hospital Karu, to a certain extent, is mostly behavioral. They call it behavioral unit. That's what they call them. Yes, it's mostly behavioral. Yeah, so they have about 3 psychiatrists, no 4. Then clinical psychologists, and they have about 4 consultants. They have other doctors, too, residents and the rest, but they have about 4 consultants. So yes, Cairo is your best bet, but FMC is still there, and National Hospital is still there. So these are where you can get very affordable therapy and consultations with the doctor. But coming to talking about private facilities, of course, it's just like private hospitals too. It is quite pricey. Yeah. But we also within the range of 3,000, 40,000, and 50,000 per session, which there are people that also could afford that and would prefer that. When it comes to private, it's a lot faster than general hospital. General hospital, you spend a lot of time. So you can find affordable therapy sessions in General Hospital. Yes, and they have professionals, skilled professionals. Even they are the ones, because General Hospital would not would not employ anyone that is not professional.
Sure.
So please kindly go to in Abuja, either Cairo, number 1, then you have FNC and National Hospital.
Okay. And you, Dr. Shola, you want to talk about
Coping mechanisms. Okay, so I think it's very important. I think you can also attest to that coping mechanisms play a very huge role.
A huge one.
In your recovery, in your treatment, in your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And it's very easy for anyone going through anything to decide to take on like a negative or maladaptive coping mechanism. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be unprotected sex, anything like that. And these are strings of events that can predispose you towards developing any form.
Smoking weed.
Weed is drugs. So this,
It had like the general coping mechanism we have in Nigeria.
Yes, and there's so much studies and records that show that marijuana can lead to psychosis.
Not can. It
leads to psychosis.
Depending on you.
Do you understand? And it's very important to even state that people that are even on the spectrum, which is how we describe anyone going through anything whatsoever, exposure to opioids like weed and any other form of hard substance can and will definitely increase the experiences you're having. The symptoms you're suffering from experiencing can increase. So imagine if you're going through very mild depression and you're smoking to get through it. What is mild will become ginormous by default. And it's a very interesting distortion, because you're going through something, it has you down, and you're choosing to take substance to deal with it. So it will knock you out or you get high. But the question I always ask is, when your eye clears, is the problem gone?
No, it's not.
So it's a cycle. The problem is just there. You get high, you sleep off, you wake up, the problem is still there. You keep doing it without actually acting on solving the problem. So it's easier said than done, of course. But the truth is, if you are using any form of substance right now, the best time to stop was yesterday. The second best time is now. The same thing with seeking help. The best time to seek help was yesterday. The second best time
is now.
Wow. It's so enlightening. It's just so enlightening. Emeka, you've heard everything that has been said here.
Yes.
And from your reactions, from your expressions, you could all see that you had a lot of wow moments, a lot of fun facts, a lot of realization,
thought-provoking,
and then what do you have to say? You've lived with this for close to 20 years now, if not more.
28.
20. What do you have to say?
What I want to say is this. Yaba no be joko. What we need to know is that, and first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Nollywood, because the icons of my own era, that's Gloria Anozie, Charlie Boy, Bimbo Akintola, Olu Jacob Ransinoa, they gave me the hope of tomorrow. Back then, when it was important to be learned to entertain, it was fun being entertained and learning a thing or two. I learned how to speak proper diction and the little nonsense I do from watching Gloria Anozie. The likes of Gloria Anozie, Olu Jacobs, Jeka Silva, Rukia Anobi. They are the ones that taught me the little that I know. What I want to say is that God bless entertainment, because entertainment is life away from life. And sometimes you need that life to survive this life. So you need some kind of life to survive this life, because it's not easy out there. To all of you watching, all I want to say is that God bless you guys. And mental illness, there is a solution, and it can be coped with, and it can be managed. It's not the end of the life. It's not the end of the world. I'm a living proof of it. I survived it. So can you.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, that leads us to the end of this segment. I think it's very important for us to know that mental health can be managed up to the point of remission. You can have a stable, comfortable, and fulfilled life despite your mental illness diagnosis. You can also have support system from external factors, building your own support system if the people you rely on do not support you. And you can reach out to anybody that you know that you can trust. You can reach out to any of the hospitals that they're going to tell you about. And just know that no matter what you're going through, mentally, any way you're going through it, just know that you are more than what you've been labeled as. You're a human, you can function, you can have the best of your life, nothing can stop you.
Exactly.
And I want to thank so much EmekaTheStar here, my friend, who came all the way from Lagos to be with us here. We can't thank him enough. We want to thank our experts here, Dr. Shola and Dr. Obiwani. And most importantly, we want to thank our viewers, those that will spend their time, their resources to listen to this, to be with us, to listen to everything we've said. We are here because of you. And if you have someone around you that's going through something, please don't judge the person. Please don't antagonize the person. The best you can do if you have nothing to do is just to pray for the person. So we've come to the end of this segment. See you next time.